I think it's fair to say that Prismatic Evolutions is the biggest mess we have seen within the Pokemon TCG in a very, very long time. Though before we get into what's actually happening, I'm actually gifting this Raikou V from Crown Zenith to one subscriber. Now to know if you won, if I reply to your comment and I add this Lucario with a palm tree emoji in my reply, then well done, you've won the card. And of course, I always pin the winning comment once it's been selected, so it's easy to see when the winner is chosen. And also, if it is your first time on the channel, please feel free to subscribe. I'd love to have you on board. Though, like I said, Prismatic Evolutions is literally a nightmare unfolding in front of our eyes, and it's absolutely mind-boggling how Pokemon cannot meet printing demands for this. I mean, I pre-ordered the set from a major retailer, and like many others, I received a message saying that stock cannot be met. And I mean, we're pretty much out of luck and need to wait until May for the second wave of products. And there's actually a lot of reasons why this is problematic, and I'll explain why this is such an issue for the hobby in just a second. Though before that, if you are looking to stay on top of restock or reprint news, today's video sponsor is PokeNotify, and they actually offer an amazing service to assist with this. So PokeNotify is a paid Discord service which instantly notifies you when a price drop or restock happens. And given the current climate with Pokemon products, it's actually a very valuable tool. PokeNotify covers major retailers across USA, UK, Australia, and many others. As soon as a restock hits the website, you'll be notified immediately. So with sets like Pokemon 151, Surging Sparks, and Prismatic Evolutions being so hard to find, this makes it a little easier to get some products. Now the best part is there is a 3-day free trial to try it out, and all my subscribers actually get a 25% off discount for their first month. You can find the discount code along with the details within the description of this video. However, I think a larger discussion about Prismatic Evolutions needs to be had. I mean, what's actually happening with this set? I most certainly have never seen a product be this hard to find on release, and I think it's very disappointing for a lot of fans. I think this is genuinely an overall negative thing for the hobby. Now, I do invest in collectibles, right? Though throughout my time on this channel, I've been pretty open with the fact that I think new products should be available on release. I don't think it benefits anyone when sets are selling for triple the price on the release date. This literally only benefits scalpers and flippers. However, let's get into actually what's happening with this set, right? Now, as I was saying with Prismatic Evolutions, one of the most disheartening things was obviously getting that email saying, hey, we don't think we'll be able to make the demand for your order unless you pre-ordered before a certain date. You're gonna need to wait for the next wave in May. I like the transparency. I think it's cool that we got those messages, but what is very, very strange for me is how Pokemon or any of the production for this set haven't been aware that there would be so much demand. I mean, when you look at Evolving Skies, which was arguably one of the biggest sets in modern Pokemon's history, albeit, 151 was even bigger, though Evolving Skies was a massive, massive Pokemon set. Everyone knew how popular the Moonbryon was. You know how popular the Evolutions are, right? What I find really, really bizarre is how on earth did you not know that a lot of people would be wanting Prismatic Evolutions? I mean, it was quite obvious. I mean, Prismatic Evolutions, a lot of us knew about this way, like last year we heard that there was going to be an Eevee Terastallized theme kind of set, okay? It was rumors were around for this like in May last year. So even when I heard that, I was like, that's going to be a massive set. It's going to be an Evolution themed set, right? I was just going, oh, Evolving Skies was big, so I knew Prismatic Evolutions would be big. So it's very, very strange to see that we're in this position right now, particularly when I've heard a lot of even stores have had stock allocations cut. And I've even heard some absolutely wild stories that some stores are getting like 10 or 15% of what they thought they were going to get. It's obviously not the store's fault, right? I just think it's a very, very hard climate to be within the hobby, especially when there's so much demand for this set. Not only that, it does leave a lot of problems, right? Now here's the problems, right? Evolving Skies did take a while to grow, okay? Well, you could get Evolving Skies for retail price on release. You could get Pokemon 151 for retail price on release. Prismatic Evolutions is looking like that won't be able to happen. It's looking like straight from release, it's already gonna be pretty expensive. I mean, look at this right here. I'm on the US eBay right now. Now I can see Prismatic Evolutions right now is selling for 129 USD per ETB. You can see this one's 120 USD per ETB. And even if we keep going down, you can see the pre-sale Prismatic Evolutions Pokemon Center Elite Trainer Box is selling for 238. For what I know that retails for 60 USD. And they are asking for 238. Now, obviously the climate, you can kind of get those prices because people are so desperate for this set. But this is really, really not a good sign for the hobby when sets are selling for already double to triple before they even land on shelves, okay? I think this is where a lot of the fans and a lot of the people are kind of disappointed because, we all want to open Prismatic Evolutions. And now, even if I do get some Prismatic Evolutions, I'm obviously going to open some, but I also feel like, wow, this is a stupid decision to open it, right? Because I know I could pull a chase card, but I could pull nothing. The fact that the sealed product is already going so much over retail, it creates it hard. And I think a lot of kids are going to be finding it hard to get products. And I think a lot of people won't even be able to experience the set. Now, another problem that comes in, and I think it's probably one of the worst problems, is what are the prices for some of the singles going to be? But I'm just kind of anticipating that Umbreon, man, those Espeons, what are the prices going to be? The Ogapons you'll be able to get. Oh man, you'll be able to get your Ogapons, don't worry about that. Everyone's going to be able to get an Ogapon, but when you want to get one of your Evolutions, I think there's going to be a lot of things, and I wonder what this does for the hobby. So even with me, I want to buy some of these products, but I really don't want to pay overs because I have a very, very strict rule of not paying overs. Sure, 10% more, you buy from a different store, different retailers have different price markups, whatever. But when you're paying double the price or triple the price, it's an ugly kind of feeling to be within this hobby at the moment. It's a hard decision for parents as well to say, hey, I'm going to pay double the price for an ETB for some of these, right? I think that a lot of restocks and reprints need to happen in order for this set to be able to be more available. And I think there's also a little bit of a confusion within the hobby, right? Because I think when COVID and, the pandemic was around, I think a lot of people understood why product couldn't happen. Because what happened was, they had a lot of these influencers come in. Production demands was, a global thing. Everyone was struggling with production at that time. So when Pokemon cards weren't available, it was kind of like, oh, okay, this is a once in a lifetime thing. Everyone kind of understood the situation. I think right now, a lot of people are confused at the situation as well, because it's like, we already had that lesson. Printing demands really should be up. But I also kind of feel like maybe, okay, you don't want to over flood the market too much and kind of make Prismatic Evolutions be seen as something worthless as well, because I did speak about it in a previous video, right? But I think the Evolutions also need to be protected in a lot of ways, right? Because, if the prices plummet for this and every Evolution is really cheap and they don't have that kind of value associated with them, maybe that damages the brand. I don't know. I'm just kind of talking out loud. But these are the kind of questions that I think a lot of collectors, a lot of fans are wondering why products can't even be available, because I'm really hoping that some of these products get more available as time goes on. And I hope a lot of people within this hobby can actually open Prismatic Evolutions and enjoy it, because arguably the set is amazing, okay? When I'm looking at some of the artworks, when I look at the Cerule Edge, right? When I look at the Umbreon, when I look at the Espeon, they are such cool cards, man. Like, it's a really, really unique kind of cards that we're getting. So I really hope a lot of people can get this. Now, if you do pull some of the chase cards, at least you've struck some kind of gold, right? Because I am just imagining right now, I can't see the prices on TCG Player, but once that becomes available, I can imagine that some of the prices for these chase cards is going to be very, very expensive, and I think a lot of people are going to have a hard time kind of keeping up with it, okay? Though, with all this said, it does make you wonder, will Prismatic Evolutions be easy to find as time goes on? Obviously, we're getting a May wave restock, but kind of what also is a little bit awkward about that is a lot of people who kind of missed the cutoff have just been kind of put first in line for that May wave restock, right? So what's going to happen there? Because for that May wave restock, a lot of people now won't even be able to get that because it's so backlogged of all the people that missed out on their first wave. So, it's a really interesting time. I think this is going to be I think 2025 as a year for the Pokemon hobby is going to be really interesting as well, because we're going to see what's going to happen with this hobby, how high a price is going to go. And I think the reprint and restock news is going to be really interesting. I think as time goes on, this will probably overtake Evolving Skies if production demand cannot meet it. Only reason I say that is because if it's already selling for triple before it even releases, and then, everyone's on a backlog that they can't get product, what's going to happen in 2 to 3 years from now? The desire for this set is always going to be sky high. Now, I personally think some serious changes need to be made in order to preserve the hobby, because the longer this lasts, the more of a chance this can backfire in the long term. And I think it's important to understand that we as a community should not pay scalper prices, and I think paying overs is something you seriously want to avoid. And buying scalped products is one of the worst mistakes you can make, and I actually speak about the top 5 worst Pokemon investing mistakes, and you can see the 5 worst mistakes in this video right here. Within this video that's appearing on screen, I go over all that in detail, and I'll see you there.